You know what is strange about life? Sometimes the phase that feels like breaking you is actually the phase that is building you. Stay with me till the end, because the last few lessons will completely change how you see your struggles. Right now, many of you are standing at a confusing junction. You have dreams, but also doubts. You have ambition, but also fear. You scroll, you compare, you wonder, am I late? Am I enough? Am I doing life right? I want you to know something very clearly today. This restlessness you feel is not a problem, it is a signal. It is life telling you your strongest phase is about to begin. Let me walk with you through 7 lessons, not as theory, but as lived wisdom. So that when you walk away from this, you don't just feel motivated, you feel unstoppable. Many times in life, when things start going wrong, we immediately panic. We look at our situation and think, why is this happening to me? We start believing that struggle is a sign that life is rejecting us. But let me gently tell you something today. Struggle is not life saying stop. Struggle is life saying pay attention. Think about it. Nothing meaningful in nature grows without resistance. A butterfly has to struggle to come out of the cocoon. If someone tries to help it by cutting the cocoon open, the butterfly may come out easily, but it will never be able to fly. Why? Because that struggle is what pushes strength into its wings. In the same way, the pressure you are experiencing today is not random, it is purposeful. Most people misinterpret discomfort. They think discomfort means they are on the wrong path. But very often, discomfort means you are on the right path, just an unfamiliar one. Growth always feels uncomfortable because it demands that you leave behind a version of yourself that feels safe, familiar, and predictable. There was a time when I used to wonder why sincere efforts sometimes bring more challenges instead of immediate results. You work honestly, you try to do the right thing, and still life tests you. But over time, you realize something very humbling. Ease does not build character, resistance does. Smooth roads don't teach you balance. Calm waters don't teach you how to sail. When life puts obstacles in your path, it is not questioning your ability, it is refining it. It is asking, are you strong enough to carry what you are asking for? Because blessings without strength become burdens. Success without wisdom becomes arrogance. Responsibility without inner maturity becomes stress. Many people quit at this stage, not because they are incapable, but because they misunderstand the meaning of struggle. They see struggle as a rejection letter from life. In reality, struggle is an invitation to rise, to reflect, and to rebuild yourself from the inside if you look closely. Every strong person you admire has passed through a silent, difficult phase. A phase where no one clapped for them. A phase where progress was slow and doubts were loud. A phase where they had to keep going without guarantees. That phase was not a punishment, it was preparation. Struggle exposes your habits. It shows you whether you react emotionally or respond consciously. It reveals whether you run away from discomfort or sit with it and learn. In comfort, everyone looks confident. In pressure, character is revealed. And here is something very important. Struggle forces honesty. When life becomes difficult, masks fall, pretenses disappear, you are left face to face with yourself, your fears, your attachments, your excuses. And this confrontation, though uncomfortable, is deeply transformative. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Try asking, what is this trying to teach me? That single shift changes everything. Suddenly, you stop fighting life and start learning from it. You stop wasting energy on complaint and start investing energy in growth. Remember this, if life wanted to stop you, it would remove your desire. But the fact that your dreams are still alive, even during struggle, means your journey is still unfolding. The fire inside you is still burning. It just needs refinement, not rejection. This phase may feel heavy. Progress may feel invisible. But roots grow in darkness before trees grow in sunlight. Keep showing up, keep learning, keep becoming stronger on the inside. Because one day you will look back and realize the struggle you once feared was the foundation of the strength you now stand on. Your strongest phase does not begin when life becomes easy. It begins when you become stronger than the difficulty. Have you ever noticed how life seems to test certain people more than others? Two people stand at the same starting line. One walks smoothly, the other keeps stumbling, and the one who stumbles starts asking, "What did I do wrong?" But over time, a deeper truth reveals itself. Life does not test people randomly. Life tests people intentionally. Life tests those it plans to trust. Think about it carefully. When a company wants to promote someone to a higher position, do they give them fewer responsibilities or more? They observe them under pressure. They watch how they behave when deadlines are tight, when resources are limited, when things don't go as planned. Tests are not meant to reject, they are meant to reveal readiness. In the same way, when life starts placing heavier situations on your shoulders, it is not saying you are weak, it is saying you are capable. But here's the challenge. Most people misunderstand tests. They think a test is proof that something is wrong. In reality, a test is proof that something meaningful is coming. Gold is tested in fire, not because it is worthless, but because it is valuable. Fake gold cannot survive heat. Real gold shines brighter after it. Life's tests work exactly the same way. They expose what is real and what is superficial. In your habits, your values, and your faith, there is a reason sincere people often feel tired. Not because they are failing, but because they are carrying responsibilities meant for growth. Life rarely loads heavy weights onto weak shelves. It waits until the structure is strong enough. But here is where most people get stuck. They want rewards without readiness. They want success without stability. They want recognition without resilience. And life in its quiet wisdom says, not yet, not to punish you, but to protect you. Tests slow you down so that wisdom can catch up with ambition. Because ambition without wisdom destroys peace. Speed without direction creates chaos. Power without humility creates arrogance. Life tests you to align your inner world before expanding your outer world. And sometimes, tests come in emotional forms. A betrayal, a delay, a rejection, a phase where things don't make sense. These moments are not random storms, they are mirrors. They show you where you are attached, where you are fearful, where you still depend too much on outcomes instead of effort. The hardest tests are not about skill, they are about patience, not about intelligence, but about attitude, not about talent, but about trust. When things don't go your way, life watches quietly. Do you become bitter or better? Do you collapse or contemplate? Do you complain or correct yourself? The test is always happening, even when you don't realize it. And here is a comforting truth. Life never gives a test without also giving the strength to pass it. But strength does not always feel like confidence. Sometimes strength feels like showing up tired. Sometimes it feels like continuing even when motivation disappears. Sometimes it feels like staying honest when shortcuts are tempting. Many people assume that those who succeed are lucky. But what they don't see are the silent tests that person passed when no one was watching. The days they chose discipline over distraction. The moments they chose humility over ego. The times they trusted the process instead of quitting early. If you are being tested right now, take it as a sign of trust. Life believes you can handle more, not just materially, but emotionally and spiritually. This phase is training your inner muscles so that when opportunities arrive, you don't panic, misuse them, or lose yourself. Tests also teach surrender. They remind you that while effort is yours, Outcomes are not fully in your control. And that realization brings humility, a quality far more powerful than confidence. So instead of asking, why is life testing me so much? Try saying, life is preparing me for something meaningful. That shift alone brings peace. Remember, exams come before certificates, not after. Storms come before calm seas, not instead of them. And tests come before trusts, not because of failure. If you can stay steady here, grounded here, honest here, life will open doors you never imagined. And now, as we move forward, there is something even more practical we must talk about, because tests alone don't shape destiny. What you do daily, quietly, consistently, that's what truly changes everything. Many people say they want a better life. They want peace, success, balance, and growth. But few people are willing to do what actually creates those things, and that is disciplined living. The moment people hear the word discipline, they imagine restriction, pressure, or loss of freedom. But discipline is not about limiting life. Discipline is about protecting life. Think about it. If you truly love someone, you don't let them destroy themselves. In the same way, if you truly love yourself, you don't let your impulses control your future. Discipline is not harshness. Discipline is care. It is saying, my future matters more than my temporary comfort. Most people live by moods. When they feel motivated, they act. When they don't, they delay. But moods are unreliable companions. They change with sleep, weather, opinion, and emotion. Discipline is choosing what matters even when your mind resists. It is doing the right thing long before it feels rewarding. A disciplined life may feel uncomfortable in the beginning, but an undisciplined life becomes painful in the end. When discipline is absent, stress takes its place. When structure is missing, anxiety grows. When consistency is lacking, confidence slowly disappears. Look closely at any peaceful person. You will always find some form of inner order. They sleep on time. They speak thoughtfully. They eat consciously. They invest their time wisely. None of this happens accidentally. Peace is practiced daily. Discipline builds self-trust. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, waking up on time, staying focused, choosing restraint, your inner voice becomes stronger. You start believing in yourself, not because someone praised you, but because you showed up for your own life. And here is something beautiful. Discipline simplifies life. When your routines are aligned, decision fatigue reduces. You don't waste energy arguing with yourself every day. You already know what needs to be done. That clarity creates calm. Many people search for confidence, but confidence is a byproduct, not a starting point. You don't become disciplined because you are confident. You become confident because you are disciplined. Small, consistent actions quietly shape a powerful identity. Discipline also creates emotional stability. When life becomes unpredictable, your habits become anchors. You may not control situations, but you can control your response. That sense of control reduces fear and increases inner strength. But discipline does not mean perfection. It means sincerity. It means falling and getting back up without drama. It means not quitting just because you missed a day. True discipline is compassionate, firm but forgiving. Some people wait for life to become easy before becoming disciplined. But discipline is what makes life easier. It prepares you for chaos, pressure, and responsibility. It turns ordinary days into training grounds for greatness. And remember this, discipline does not steal joy, it protects it. When your life is aligned, joy flows naturally. You don't need to chase happiness. It finds you in your effort, your routine, your commitment. As we move ahead, understand this, discipline alone is not enough. Many disciplined people still feel lost. Why? Because effort without direction can exhaust the soul. So now let's move to the next step. something even more powerful: clarity. Because when clarity enters your life, even small effort starts creating extraordinary result. Many people walk through life saying, "I am not confident enough." They believe confidence is something you are born with or something that magically appears one day. But confidence is not the real issue. The real issue is confusion. When your mind is confused, fear naturally enters. When your direction is unclear, hesitation becomes constant. Clarity is far more powerful than confidence. When you are clear, you move even while feeling afraid. When you are clear, you don't wait for perfect conditions. You take the next right step. Confident people act because they feel strong. Clear people act because they know why they must move. Think about a driver in heavy fog. Even a powerful car cannot move fast if the road ahead is unclear. But when the fog lifts, even an ordinary car moves smoothly. Clarity lifts the fog of doubt. It doesn't remove challenges, it removes confusion. Most anxiety comes not from difficulty but from uncertainty. Not knowing where you are going drains more energy than hard work ever will. That is why clarity brings peace. When you know your values, your priorities, and your purpose, distractions lose their power. Clarity also protects you from comparison. When you don't know your destination, every other path looks tempting. But when your direction is clear, you don't envy someone else's journey. You respect it and continue walking your own. One of the biggest reasons people feel stuck is not lack of ability, but lack of inner alignment. Their actions don't match their values. Their schedule doesn't match their priorities. Their words don't match their intentions. Clarity begins when you honestly ask yourself, what truly matters to me? Clarity does not arrive in noise, it arrives in silence, in reflection, in moments where you disconnect from constant stimulation and listen inward. That is why many people stay busy, because silence forces self-honesty. When clarity emerges, fear changes its role. Fear doesn't disappear, but it stops controlling you. It becomes information instead of intimidation. You feel fear, but you move anyway because purpose becomes stronger than discomfort. Clarity also helps you say no without guilt. When your inner direction is strong, you don't feel the need to please everyone. You understand that every yes costs energy and every no protects alignment. And here is something important: clarity evolves. You don't need to have your entire life figured out. You just need clarity for the next step. Life does not reveal the whole staircase at once. It reveals enough light for the next step, if you are willing to walk. Many people wait to feel confident before acting, but clarity often comes after action. You move, you reflect, you adjust. That cycle slowly sharpens your inner compass. Clarity also deepens faith. When you understand your responsibility, you stop demanding guarantees from life. You do your part sincerely and trust the process to unfold in its own timing. As clarity strengthens, your energy stops leaking, your focus sharpens, your decisions become lighter, life feels less chaotic. Not because problems disappear, but because your mind becomes organized. Now, as we move forward, understand this: clarity prepares you, discipline strengthens you, but neither will fully empower you until you accept something deeper, because real power does not come from understanding alone. Nay, it comes from responsibility. There comes a moment in life when a person stops asking, "Who is responsible for my situation?" and starts saying, "I am responsible for my response." That moment changes everything. Responsibility is not about blame, it is about power. The moment you take responsibility, you take your life back into your hands. Most people unknowingly give their power away. They blame circumstances, upbringing, society, timing, or luck. And the more they blame, the more helpless they feel. Responsibility does the opposite. It may feel heavy at first, but it brings freedom. Because once you accept responsibility, You also accept the ability to change. Responsibility does not mean everything is your fault, it means everything is your choice. How you think, how you react, how you grow. Even when situations are unfair, your inner response is still yours. That is where your true authority lives. Many people fear responsibility because they think it will restrict them. In reality, responsibility expands you. When you stop waiting for others to fix your life, you start becoming reliable to yourself and to life. And life responds powerfully to reliable people. Responsibility turns effort into ownership. When you own your actions, your learning accelerates. Mistakes stop feeling like shame and start feeling like feedback. You don't waste time defending your ego. You invest time improving your skills and mindset. There is something deeply empowering about saying, "This is my life, and I will shape it consciously." That sentence alone removes victimhood. It shifts your posture, your tone, your energy. You stop reacting emotionally and start responding intelligently. Responsibility also builds self-respect. You begin to trust yourself because you know you won't abandon your values when things get difficult. That inner trust is far more stabilizing than external validation. And here is a subtle truth. Responsibility deepens humility. When you take responsibility, you stop proving and start improving. You don't compare, you don't complain, you focus on progress. Quiet, consistent progress. People who carry responsibility well don't need to dominate conversations. Their presence speaks, they listen more, they react less, they choose thoughtfully. That calm maturity becomes magnetic. Responsibility also teaches patience. When you stop blaming others, you stop rushing outcomes. You understand that growth takes time. You become less impulsive, more grounded. Many people want influence. Few people want responsibility, but influence follows responsibility naturally. Life entrusts more to those who can carry more. Emotionally, mentally, ethically. Taking responsibility does not mean walking alone. It means walking consciously. You ask for help without dependency. You accept guidance without losing ownership. That balance is strength. As responsibility deepens, something unexpected happens. Your mind becomes lighter. Blame is exhausting. Excuses drain energy. Responsibility simplifies life. You focus only on what you can control and release the rest. Now, as we move forward, understand this. Responsibility gives you power, but power without softness becomes rigid. Power without humility becomes heavy. That is why the next lesson is essential. Because gratitude is what keeps power gentle, balanced, and peaceful. Gratitude is often misunderstood as a polite habit, saying thank you, smiling, appearing positive. But true gratitude is far deeper than words. Gratitude is a state of awareness. It is the ability to see value where the mind is trained to see lack. Most people think they will feel grateful once life improves. But life improves when gratitude enters first. Gratitude does not wait for perfection. It learns to bow to progress. When gratitude is absent, the mind becomes restless. No achievement feels enough. No recognition satisfies. You move from one desire to another, thinking the next milestone will finally bring peace. But peace does not come from accumulation. It comes from appreciation. Gratitude changes how you experience life, not what life gives you. Two people can have the same circumstances. One feels rich, the other feels deprived. The difference is not income, status, or success. The difference is perception. A grateful person is difficult to disturb. When you appreciate what you have, comparison loses power. You stop measuring your life against someone else's highlight reel. You start respecting your own journey, your own timing. Gratitude also heals emotional wounds. When you focus only on what went wrong, bitterness grows. But when you also acknowledge what sustained you, the lessons, the support, the strength you didn't know you had, healing begins quietly. Gratitude does not deny pain. It simply refuses to let pain define the whole story. It says, yes, this was difficult, and yet I survived. I learned. I grew. There is a beautiful strength in gratitude. It keeps you grounded during success and hopeful during struggle. When things go well, gratitude keeps ego in check. When things go badly, gratitude keeps despair away. Gratitude also improves relationships. When you appreciate people instead of expecting perfection, love deepens. Expectations create pressure. Appreciation creates connection. Many people chase happiness through control. Gratitude teaches surrender. You accept that life is imperfect, yet meaningful. That acceptance relaxes the nervous system. The mind stops fighting reality. And here is something subtle but powerful. Gratitude attracts responsibility. When life sees you appreciate what you have, it feels safe giving you more. Not because gratitude is a trick, but because appreciation shows maturity. A grateful heart becomes spacious. There is room for joy, compassion, and patience. Negativity finds it hard to stay in a mind that regularly acknowledges blessings. Gratitude is also deeply spiritual. It reminds you that not everything is earned. Some things are given: breath, time, opportunity, guidance. That realization naturally brings humility. You don't need to wait for big reasons to be grateful. Small moments are enough. A quiet morning, a meaningful conversation, a lesson learned, strength gained. When gratitude becomes your inner posture, you stop feeling empty. You feel supported by life, by effort, by grace. And now we come to the final step of this journey. This is the most delicate and powerful lesson of all. If this is missing, everything else feels heavy, because effort without surrender creates exhaustion. Discipline without trust creates anxiety. There comes a stage in life when you realize that no amount of planning can control everything. You can work hard, think carefully, act sincerely, and still outcomes may not match expectations. This realization can either make a person anxious or wise. The difference lies in surrender. Surrender is one of the most misunderstood ideas. People think surrender means weakness, passivity, or giving up effort. But true surrender is not about stopping action. It is about releasing obsession with results. It is about doing your best and trusting that a higher intelligence is arranging what you cannot see. When you surrender, fear begins to lose its grip. Because fear is born from the illusion of control. The more you try to control life, the more anxious you become. The moment you accept that some things are beyond you, your heart relaxes. Surrender does not mean you stop striving. It means you stop stressing. You continue showing up, disciplined, responsible, grateful, but without the weight of constant expectation. That lightness changes how you experience life. Many people exhaust themselves mentally because they keep replaying the same worries. What if this fails? What if I disappoint others? What if I lose everything? Surrender gently says, do your duty. The rest is not yours to carry. This is where faith becomes practical. Faith is not blind belief. Faith is trusting that sincere effort is never wasted, even if results are delayed or different from what you imagined. Faith gives you the courage to continue without guarantees. Surrender also softens disappointment. When outcomes don't align with desires, you don't collapse. You reflect. You learn. You accept that life may be protecting you from something you don't yet understand. There is deep freedom in surrender. You stop forcing timelines. You stop comparing journeys. You stop measuring your worth by external success. You begin living from inner alignment instead of external approval. Surrender also purifies intention. You act not just for reward, but because action itself becomes meaningful. Work becomes service. Effort becomes devotion. Life becomes a partnership, not a battle. When surrender enters, gratitude deepens. You start seeing guidance where you once saw obstacles. You recognize growth where you once saw delay. You trust that every phase is preparing you for something wiser. This is why surrendered people appear calm even in uncertainty. They are not careless. They are anchored. They know storms pass, seasons change, and effort combined with faith always leads somewhere meaningful. Surrender also strengthens courage. When you are no longer attached to outcome, fear loses its bargaining power. You take bold steps, you speak honestly, you live authentically, and this is the paradox. The moment you stop trying to control everything, life begins to cooperate with you. Not always how you expect, but always in ways that mature you. So remember this as you step into your strongest phase. Do your work sincerely. Live with discipline. Take responsibility. Stay grateful and surrender the rest. Because when effort meets faith, life stops feeling heavy. Your strongest phase does not begin when everything is perfect. It begins when your heart is steady, your mind is clear, and your trust is deep. And when you live that way, you don't just move forward in life. Life moves forward with you. So as you step forward from here, remember this one eternal truth. Life is not waiting for you to become fearless. It is waiting for you to become faithful. When you show up every day with discipline, when you take responsibility without bitterness, when you remain grateful without entitlement, and when you surrender outcomes with trust, life begins to open in quiet, powerful ways. You don't need to control the whole journey. You only need the courage to take the next honest step. Do your duty with sincerity, leave the results with faith, and keep your heart anchored in values, not validation. Because true success is not how far you go, it is how consciously you walk. And when effort is guided by faith, no phase of life can break you. It can only build you. Your strongest phase does not begin someday. It begins the moment you decide to live with awareness, courage, and trust. Starting now.